Got my lemonade here.
What is up? What is up? Welcome to another episode of The Real. I am your host, BG, with the lovely ladies, Miss Marty Cruz and God is C in the building. How you guys doing today?
Hi, we doing good. Ready?
I am well ready for tonight's combo.
Yes, sir. Let's get into it.
So you guys ready for this hot topic? Ready to get started or something?
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
What is up? What is up? Welcome to another episode of The Real. I am your host, BG, with the lovely Goddess Z in the building. How you doing today, girl?
I am well. How are you?
Doing good. It's birthday. Woo! Celebrating.
Happy birthday, bro.
Birthday!
Gonna be a live stream, y'all. Hope you guys ready for it. We got the special guest in the building. Net Most Wanted, the man, the myth, the legend. How you doing today, my guy?
What's up, folks? What's going on? I'm good, man. Good to see you, folks. The lovely Z, like you said, and yourself, BG, the birthday boy. We with it.
Yes, sir.
Let's get it.
Sir. So yeah, man, we're back down the rabbit hole. Part 4. I think it's our 4th one. We'll keep bringing them to you as many as we can bring. You know, spread that truth and let people know what's really going on out here. So you know, I loved your last video, Hidden Truth. You know what I'm saying? I thought maybe we'd talk with everybody about that one, you know, and go over some of the things that were in there. There's some things I really liked from the, you know, we tell each other spells every single day, and we don't even know we're telling each other words that that we use on the daily, you know, that really don't, you know, not really supposed to be doing stuff like that. And then just the reptilians, how they already been here, and, you know, they're in power, they're in control, and they're just trying to conquer. So, you know.
Yeah.
I'll let you start off, you know what I'm saying? You the man. Let's go.
Okay.
First, shout out to Miss Black Barbie with the $20.
Miss Black Barbie in the house, Secretary of the Year.
Thank you so much. She said, be blessed, support each other. Yes, that's what we do. We support each other everywhere we go. Let's get it.
Yeah, the last video, man, shoot, you already know, like, you really had to have watched the video before that. And the video before that, we were talking about Intruder, that video where it talked about the whole parasite thing and all that. We got to all of that, and it really tied into this last video. I know we were just talking before we came online about how everybody is just now like waking up. It's like, what is going on? Like, people all of a sudden just popping up, like, what is happening in the world? And some of us, like folks like us, we've been inclined to some degree over the course of the last 30, 40 years, but some people are just now getting slapped across the head with a whole bunch of reality, and it ain't making sense to them. And like, hey, put me back to sleep.
Yeah. I think it is this type of some people like that.
You say what, BG?
I think it is scary for some people like that, where it's like, okay, I heard too much. Now I'm just gonna go back to doing what I normally do because I don't really want to deal with that situation.
That's exactly what's going on. It's
a whole mess of emotions that comes with awakening, you know. You got to realize that you've lived your life, for most of us, in a lie or in a being told falsehoods or false programming. So you got to accept that first and foremost. And it's like a whole process. For me, it was a process of grieving. I was like, you know, the religion, the whole, all of those different thought systems that I, you know, don't associate with now. I had to literally I had to separate from that, and with that separation it created grief. So I know that for a lot of people, they don't want to face that pain or that reality of knowing, hey, I have to get to, relearn all of these things that I thought I knew. So it's overwhelming sometimes.
It's overwhelming, and the thing is, like you just said, relearning. Like, we don't know shit. Let's just be real. We don't know shit. Everything that we know has been fed to us. It's been a world of lies that they've created, and we have been fixated on this our whole life. Think about it. We've been living however old everybody is. We've been living 30, 40 years completely oblivious to what this world is really about. Even we just talking about the curses and stuff, like that's a real thing. Like knowing like certain words like curses, the way they use words, you don't even think about this stuff in everyday life that you live, but you actually, the things you say, they always say, even in the Bible, say there's power in the tongue. And that's true down to the letter. The letters and words that we use, man, can kind of shape our realities. And also it can curse people and put people, it's like spells. That's why I say, think about it. Cursive writing, spelling. You see what I'm saying? Spelling. How are you going to spell that? Well, what is a spell? You see what I'm saying? Well, what is a cursive? Why are we using spells and cursing with our language? Why? Like, who decided this? But us being naive, we go our whole lives like, oh yeah, I'm writing cursive. Don't tell them how many curses you done put on somebody in your cursive letter to them.
You know, and there's a bunch of them too that you really think about. Good morning, you know what I'm saying? As you're morning, like you're waking up morning, you know, you're supposed to be like, you know, that's why I started using a lot of time grand rising, because I don't, you know, I'm like, good morning.
Hey, I do the same thing. I say the same thing because I was saying it to my son because he always say like, good morning, daddy. I'm like, good morning. And I'm like, no, I ain't about to say that no more, because I think that's really the reason why people have bad mornings or days, because they say good morning. Say good morning, and you go out and have a car accident, right? On the morning drive to work. It ain't a good morning no more, but your ass morning, no, right? You mourning the loss of your vehicle, mourning the fact you about to lose some pay because you didn't work that day. You know what I'm saying? So people don't understand the power of the tongue, and that's because we've been lied to about everything. And most of us don't know it. Some of us, like us, we waking up to it. Like, we know that this world, this universe is so different, so much more than what we've been led to believe. We are so much more than what we've been led to believe. We have powers that we don't know about because we've been led to believe that we don't. We've been led to believe that we are human beings first, 3D dimensional beings on this realm, when it's the opposite. And it's about us like growing in the spirit, man, evolving as spiritual beings. Because right now we babies. Let's be clear, we're babies in the spiritual world. You know, we are babies. We don't know crap. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can talk what you want about Illuminati and stuff like that. They actually are enlightened because they understand a lot more than we may ever know until we start getting into this stuff and digging into it and going down this rabbit hole like we are. We just lost babies right now. Lost
just
souls.
Like Leo, when he first decided to go and they see him unplug, you know what I'm saying? Just like a brand new baby out there. I swear that's the most realest movie out there to really.
It is. That's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite movies. And the piggyback off that, the lady who actually wrote that, The Matrix, initially, I had interviewed her. She's on my Rumble. I did an interview with her, Sophia. Can't remember her last name now, but she was the one who actually wrote The Matrix, came up with The Matrix and The Terminator. I did an interview with her like a year ago, and she was talking about how they stole her script and everything, and she sued them and won all this money back, and they had to give her back the rights to the movie and everything. And the whole movie was really, way she broke it down to me was like, this was really built on the spiritual like essence. Like, it was never about the stuff they tried to make it more of a physical thing and kind of different folks. Right. But it wasn't about that. But they took it and they tried to twist it around and make it fit their narrative. But a lot of stuff that we believe in there to be a spiritual aspect of it, it really is. Like, she really like made that clear. Like, yes, that this is the spiritual, like the oracle and all that. Those are people that are spiritually inclined, and these agents, those are basically demons that's moving in and out of people that are connected or hardwired still to the matrix, you know, which is hardwired to this 3D world that cannot, you know, connect to the spiritual world. Like she was really deep. Like it was really a blessing to be able to speak with her and just kind of pick her brain and learn about it. She has so much more knowledge about stuff, man, that I was like, wow, I was blown away. I really was.
That's always the best thing. To learn something new from somebody. You know, I always think about that, like how in movies you have to watch these movies because, like, being a director is really the only guy that can really spit a little truth at you without getting killed. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they can make a movie that everybody seems to be fictional, you know, and you look at it like, oh, the fictional, even like the kids' cartoons that are out, these are like the closest thing to what's really going on in real life, and nobody really understands that. They think of it, they're looking for it as entertainment, or, you know, a cool story or a cool action movie, or, you know what I'm saying? Like one of those situations that are really looking at. Like whenever I look at any movie now, I look for the message first before I look at the actual production of the movie. You know, it's like I kind of find out what you're telling me because it's the truth, man. Like so much truth. Like even when we bring in the Simpsons stuff and cartoons and stuff, like so much truth comes out in these movies that we think are so far fetched for being true. And reality is the real truth that we're blinded to on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, but you know, and I actually, because I got a video I'm gonna be dropping either tomorrow, tomorrow, or it might be Thursday. But it was talking about the CIA and actually how they are directly linked to the production of movies. They're directly linked to it. And then you go back to what Donald Marshall, I don't know if you guys may have seen the videos I've done where Donald Marshall was talking about how the elite are involved with the production of the movies, and they're behind like the Simpsons and stuff like that and all these movies that we see. So it's not far-fetched when you see these movies and they put the truth of what they're doing right in front of our face, and we don't even pay attention to it. Like, oh, this is a good movie. Oh, this is a great movie. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, your ass been dropped right there smack dab in the middle of the damn movie, and you still thinking, oh, that's a great movie. Wake the fuck up. This is real life all of a sudden, you know? So, but yeah, that last video that I did, man, it really dealt with a lot of that stuff that we was talking about before with the whole parasite thing and cleansing. I told everybody, man, you need to cleanse. I don't know if you guys have cleansed recently, but I've started another detox cleanse just in like the last 6-7 days to start trying to get these parasites and things out, man, to make sure that I don't have anything that could be, you know, negatively influencing me. Not just to get the walk, like we talked about it. I know that's how they got a lot of people take the walk. I just watched a video today where guy John O'Looney, I was supposed to do an interview with him like before he even blew up and everybody knew who he was. But he's a funeral director out of Canada. And he was talking about what he was seeing, the bodies coming in and all this. And he's like, man, something ain't right. And he's talking about it started really happening after the walk. It wasn't happening before that. But I was supposed to do the interview with him, and he was talking about how all these people had been misled and everything, and they had been telling them that, oh yeah, this you know, the walk is gonna be good for you, this, that, and other. And he on the inside, and he's seeing it. He ain't had nobody coming in that had no problems from the walk. He started seeing nothing but people that had these problems from these strokes and things, heart attacks, and he started putting it out there. But I was supposed to do the interview with him, and we was going to discuss this early on. He had a guy on there today, and they were talking about how the government over there is really starting to try. They finna start coming like door to door. They got troops coming in from other countries to come door to door to them, which I don't know if they're gonna show up like, hey, you about to take this or we about to drag you out. But this is what they talking about. They got like 1,000 troops coming in there every other day, and they're training them to come door to door. So it just shows you how serious it's getting on that end. The crazy part about it, about everything that he was saying though, is they noticed that there's people that are getting certain batches, and it's showing up in the different autopsies and things that they doing. They got the people that's coming down with the clogged arteries where they can't feel the body with embalming fluid. It's like they can't even feel them because it's blocking whatever it is. It's strong. It's like that's not a normal clot. He's like, I can't even. He said he normally cuts the neck or something. And they put something in there and he shoots it over the bomb. So he's like, we can't even run our regular programs that we've been doing for the last 50, 60 years. He said, this is the stuff they've done to these people. So I was
that was crazy. I seen that one. That was crazy. I gotta shoot him everywhere. I gotta shoot him in the fingers. I gotta shoot him in the,
and he gotta shoot him in
like every single spot to try to get him to be embalmed. And he said that's just not normal for human beings. Like it should be one and done.
It's not, but I'm sorry. Go ahead, Zeke.
No, I was just saying, wow, it's amazing, and it really, like, thinking about the clots, it correlates with all the symptoms that a lot of the people had talked about having after they took the walk. So just looking at the grand scheme of things, it's real fishy to me. It's real fishy to me, and I've actually it's fishy to me. Real fishy. I've talked to people who were in great health. I'm talking optimal, pristine health, and then took the walk because they were pretty much forced to because of employment or whatever. And I'm talking about these people aren't functioning, like they have disabilities right now. Healthy young individuals. So yeah, it's mind blowing, and people just automatically put their trust into systems outside of them when they started using, start using fancy words or even fear tactics.
Fear tactics.
Fear, that's what it is. Fear.
Yeah, it's fear mind, and that's what the whole plan was, to scare everybody into it. And that's why they had to fabricate everything. That's why they had to put the stuff on the screen. They worked so hard on making that part work, because let's be clear, it was never really a big threat. It never was. They created an illusion in most people's minds where some of us sat back like, man, that don't look right. We still had our wits about us. And we was like, that don't look right. If somebody really was dying like that, man, it wouldn't have happened like this and that. We still thinking, logically. But these folks was straight in a panic. And they got everybody that was in a panic, that was scared for their life, whether you was a Christian, been praising God and worshiping and everything your whole life, you still decided you was going to run down there and do that, despite your faith in God and what he can do for you. But what he was saying on that video, that's why I was talking about the whole parasite thing. The guy, John O'Looney, was saying that him and that guy had noticed that the people that went and took the walk, they all start acting different too. Like their minds, like they start functioning different. Like they don't even act like the same people. Like you can't talk to them. We always been saying, like, man, it's like these people we talk to, it's like they don't listen, they don't hear us. It's not, like I said, it wasn't just the walk. It was the test too. Remember, the people had videos coming out that showed things was in the test and the walk. So it wasn't just one, but it was live. It was some live things that was in each one of them. And these things, based off of what like Dr. B Series was saying, they are intelligent. They're in there for a reason. They ain't put all this money into putting that stuff in people for no reason. But what did they do? When this stuff got in, it made these people change. These people went, they took the walk. They didn't want to hear nothing you had to say. They blocked you all out. You crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. And now they act funny. They act different, and you still can't talk to them. It's like their intelligence went right out the window. Any kind of second thought about what was right or wrong went right out the window. They like, I'm going, give me that. I'm taking that. It still ain't working. Give me 3 more of them. I don't care. It don't matter. Like, what happened to common sense? They went completely out the window. For them folks,
people are just lining up. You see all the places lined up, carloads lined up everywhere. In line just to get it. I'm like, how do you go run out and get someone when they tell you it's not even a cure?
Right.
I told you that.
But they saying that now.
They're saying it's not a cure, but it's going to prevent you from, deceasing. Yeah. Okay. I'm about to go sign up and get that. No, thank you. Well,
I think it's like what you were saying with the spells, like the spelling words. Our thoughts become spells too, and what we're programming and seeing every day. Most of the people that I noticed that went out and took the walking was just gung ho on, give me the second, third, this, and this. And it was a lot of my family members as well. They are always tuned into the media. So they're always tuned into that realm of fear. That's their reality. And for them, that was a solution. So I think that spells can be in the form of words and the way we talk to each other, the way we talk to ourselves, but also those subconscious spells of what's being programmed by what we giving our attention to.
Right, but the CIA is responsible for that. Like, it's information out there about how they use the programming and frequencies that they send it through the TV. Like, people got away from that. They've been sending that stuff through the TV. We wonder. I remember it was a point in time, and I was just thinking about this earlier today. It's funny we talk about this, but I used to be glued on CNN too. I used to watch CNN religiously. Like, I turn on TV, just turn on CNN. I don't care what I'm doing. I would just turn CNN on and doing whatever and listen to CNN, and they asses would be lying to me every day, the whole day, and I was believing it. I was believing it, and I'm trying to think the time. I think it was around the time I did my parasite cleanse where I really started saying, man, something ain't right, and I got away from CNN altogether. But it was a time when I was programmed, just like our family members, to where I was listening to everything they had to say. And I've seen videos about how they use the frequency through the TV to get people hypnotized and their minds warped and brainwashed. So that's a real thing. I was part of that.
We all were.
I think social media is the same way too. You find yourself clicking that button. When you on your phone, I know for me, I speak for myself. I'm supposed to be answering emails or doing something. I get distracted and automatically hitting that button. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm not even, before you even realize that you're doing it. And I'm like, I don't like that.
It's something about that. And I find myself doing it too. I don't know what it is because I've been trying to break myself still from doing that. But I get on the phone. It's been 20, 30 minutes and went by and I'm up here scrolling and stuff, and a lot of it I be looking at what's being said about what's going on. I'm looking for information, for as the shows and stuff like that. And sometimes I just find myself doing a little too much on there. And I'll be like, man, why have I spent this much time scrolling through? And then they got their methods that they utilize to attract people too. They know what you like to see, they know what you like to shop for, and they start throwing that shit at you. So now you over here looking at you was looking for the truth about what's going on with the walk. Next you know, you looking at a pair of Jordan 19s. And you like, shoot, I might go and snatch some of them up while I'm up here looking for this walk information. And before you know it, man, your whole day is wrapped around shopping and looking at crap you had no intention of looking at. So now think about it. Think about it. We're inclined, right? We know what's going on. But think about the avid, user that's on there that's just going through regular day, and they might say, hey, let me go look at some information about the walk and stuff. Let me find something out. Think how easily they're distracted and they're ran off from the truth, because the truth is even harder to find today than it was a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 months ago. They blocking and removing everything, and they putting all these more distractions at you. They sending it right to your phone. They ain't gotta use the TV no more.
Some of that stuff carries. Like you see a picture of some graphic stuff, or you read somebody's sad ass story. That's the first thing you look at when you woke up in the day in the AM. That sets the tone for your entire day. So it really it's a whole play.
Right. And then you got so many people. If you follow a lot of people on Facebook, whatever else, you get some sad stories coming your way. It, like you said, it'll set the tone for your whole day. Your whole day be messed up because somebody else's day was messed up. And then you put that on your stat, and that's you just messed up somebody else's day. So everybody's having a bad day, and it's just negative energy just flowing throughout the universe. Yes. So all these people just having negative days. That's how they control us.
This is not nothing new. Like, this is recycled tactics that's been used over and over again. Like, when we were little, the older you get, you realize you're starting to see things happen again that you remember happen. A pandemic you had seen happen before. You know what I'm saying? The older you get, you remember things used to cost different when you didn't have this versus when you do have this. Cell phones or whatnot. Just information in general that's just like you said, more programming to the point where now it's like you got it from every different direction. It's just like, whoa, you can't, it's like impossible. Then you throw in, family life and work and other things, into that whole bowl of, disaster, and you're just fighting, you're trying to get through. You don't really have time to even find out nothing new, unless you really want to go out there and find the truth.
No, you don't, man. And it's crazy because like I said, you know a lot about a lot, but think about how much research and stuff goes into actually learning this stuff. And we did it at more of a time when it's more readily available. for somebody that's just getting dropped a rabbit hole, like, there's not a lot of information that you can find to open your mind up right now. Like, you're subjected to what you're able to access, and it's not to find unless you actually run into people that, and we have access to different information and resources. Like right now, if you've known in the past, how would you know information about? It's like you couldn't or you wouldn't. You know, so for most people, man, that has sailed. It's going to be extremely difficult now. So it's going to be extremely difficult now for people to find true, real information. The truth is harder to find. It's harder to find. The lies are abundant. You know, like I was just on Twitter, and they was talking about, dude was on there talking about, they said that the walk would stop transmission or keep people or people wouldn't get sick. And this, I said, yes, the hell they did. What are you? And then I popped the video up. They showed them, like, it was full of just, oh yeah, they did this work, and you ain't got to worry about nothing. You perfectly, don't you take it? You're great. Don't worry about nothing. You good. And he didn't know nothing about it. You know, but I was able to show him the video because I had it in my possession. You know, so that basically shut down everything he was saying, because it was like thousands of people that was on there and didn't know nothing about it. They all thinking the same thing. They never said nothing. It wasn't gonna stop transmission. Well, what the hell you take it for? Oh, because it wasn't. It would stop you in the hospitals and death. Well, dying in the hospital. So what did you take it for?
And
so there's people like us that's more important than we were before.
The biggest thing is, like, after the first wave, and you seen some of them people even dying from it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you seen it, and that it just kept going and kept going and kept going. You know what I'm saying? People kept going to go get it. It's like, then it's like when the people start to slow down a little bit, then they made it mandatory at jobs. Now, you know, to keep your job, you have to go get it. And that's messed up, putting people in situations like that. Choose your health or, your source of income. So I just really think it's really been a very strategic move that was done, and been, like I said, they've been doing this from the flu, monkeypox, all of them, all the viruses. Seems like the more you
airmen.
Huh?
Yeah, the ski
airmen
experience. Yeah.
Henrietta
but I did a couple videos. I did a couple videos where they was talking about the AIDS and HIV and how that was the first time they did this. This is not the first time. The HIV and AIDS was a designed weapon, and people don't understand that. And it was really directed at Black people initially.
Yeah,
that was like the first run at actually.
That's why they got Magic to be the spokesman.
Yeah. That's why they got Magic. He did the same thing that Iris Elba did. Came on like, hey, I don't have no symptoms, but I got it. Y'all need to go. And that's why I'm telling folks, when you went, when folks went, Iris Elba did that. I had on a couple of videos. He was like, hey, I don't have no symptoms. It's some bad news. He came on here. He had his wife. I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I got some bad news today. Yeah, I got it. But I'm okay. Me and my wife, we handling it all right. But I didn't have no symptoms. But y'all need to go get tested.
Yeah.
Now, why would you be forcing people to go get tested? It was not about getting tested to find out if you have it. It was to make sure that they gave you something. And that's the same thing. Like I say, I always tell people, and the reason I put my videos together the way I do, I grab pieces and I use them again and again, is because people have to understand the origins and how things worked before. And you have to understand how they work now. And then you can put it together and say, well, damn, if they're doing it like this now, what did they do back then when people was coming down with HIV and AIDS? When they was telling people, you need to go get tested, and then people showing up to get tested, and all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, I got it. How did you get it? Well, I don't know. I ain't slept with nobody in 10 years. Well, it might be somebody you slept with 10, 15 years ago then. You need to go check with them. And then you go contact them, and they try to see if they got it. Well, I didn't come down with it. Well, you might need to check one of your other partners. No, wasn't the partners. It was because they gave it to you. They gave it to you in the same manner that they're giving it to people today. Take your butt down there and take that test. And when you do that, you're allowing them to inject you with stuff. Remember, I put the video together just recently where they had Timothy Jarrell Cunningham worked at the CDC in Atlanta. And he came out and was like, yo, he just had got, and it's crazy how they do you in the media. You have to watch them because they sat there and they lied on that man. So, oh, he was upset because he didn't get no promotion. And so he left work and he just disappeared. Y'all lying. You're lying once again. The man did get the promotion because he got moved up to the commander-in-chief of the CDC. And that's when he found out. When you get moved up, you get access to certain information and material. Right. Now you got different passcodes. You got certain level access, G14 classified. So he doing his work and he's stumbling. He a real person like us. He just trying to do his work and just legit, right? He come across the crap that's going on. Just like we would if we was working a job. We like, hold on, man, something ain't right here. Hold on, they got B2, B3 chromosomes mixed with hold on, this ain't right. This would give somebody some kind of flu. Wait a minute. Let me go and contact some people. I need to get this out here. He's just doing his job. And he found out some stuff that shouldn't have been going on. And he blew the whistle. He went and told, hey, they putting this and this and this. Y'all need. And he was, guess what? He was a black guy. He came out, he tried to blow the whistle, and they condemned that man to hell behind that. Oh, he's crazy, something wrong with him. He don't know what he's talking about. But this was right before the pandemic jumped off. Right before it jumped off. He was talking about they was putting it in the actual, the syringe that they was giving people for the flu. So what are they saying today? Oh, we believe a lot of people saying that the actual virus is the flu that's been circulating around, and they've been using it, telling people it's something else, but it's really the flu. Okay, so did he stumble across the whole plans back then of what was going on? And then boom, right after that, we had this big massive flu outbreaks, and then all of a sudden the flu disappeared and they labeled it CV, right? Now, next thing you know, he floating up dead in the river somewhere. And he told the lady, hey, delete my phone number out your phone. Don't tell nobody. Yep. He started going through damage control. Like, hey, I know they after me. Y'all, look, you know what I'm saying? Somebody in a straight pay. Like, look, I know they coming for me. Hey, I don't want them coming for you. Y'all take my number out your phone. Hey, y'all ain't seen me. You ain't heard nothing. Next thing you know, he just dead. Yeah. Come on, man. That's crazy. But they tried to say he didn't get the promotion he wanted. So, he probably could kill himself because he didn't get the promotion. But he was the commander.
There was no foul play. There was no foul play. Over and over.
No foul play is suspected.
Get out of here.
Right, but if you look at that other part from my video, the lady was talking about everything. If you notice, the CDC in Atlanta be directly linked to a lot of crap. A whole lot of crap that be going on. They found contaminated tests for the CV there. Okay, they found the contaminated flu stuff there. And they also found the dang smallpox and stuff, vials and stuff there. And you also know that the Georgia Guidestones over there in Atlanta, right? And you also know they Atlanta also they had something else happen recently that was serious. They had the CV, the Georgia Guidestones. Oh, that's right, I forgot the biggest thing, the dang coffins, the FEMA coffins, been there forever. Yeah. Right there in Atlanta, you got the Georgia Guidestones, and then you got hundreds of thousands of coffins laid out waiting on folks. Right? Why is it all linked to the CDC in Atlanta? And then right now they just had some other stuff that came out from Atlanta where they found out they got all these different bio weapons and things already ready for people. The monkeypox stuff, they got all of that stuff laid out. It's like that's the mecca center of the distribution of diseases. That's what it is. They are not here to help us. And that's why I said when they found them vials of smallpox, this was before monkeypox even hit the scene. They found the smallpox vials. Okay? This was before some people put out some videos where they were saying the exact date. And I put it in my last video, the exact date that they was gonna drop monkeypox on the world. I remember that. Yeah, you saw that, BG. It was supposed to be May 15th. It happened May 18th. That stuff was out there over a year ago. How do you know a year ago, down to 3 days apart from the actual date, that monkeypox was going to all of a sudden blow up? Monkeypox wasn't even around at the time. It wasn't even popping like that. Yeah, it had been discovered, but we're nobody dealing with monkeypox. And all of a sudden, 3 days after the date that the time that was supposed to have been the little what they call tabletop exercise, all of a sudden now you got monkeypox blowing up. They already got the amount of deaths listed that they expecting to have. They already got the plans for the lockdown. So it's just a matter of time. Now, whether they're going to take these people out themselves or if the monkeypox is going to be distributed, like I said, through the nanos and stuff, is going to burst in people and cause everybody to have it, because there is a mortality rate much higher on that monkeypox. It's like, I think it's like 20%. But from what I understand, that the monkeypox is actually the smallpox. That they trying to label it as that to kind of keep it floating under the radar. See, they don't tell us the truth about
those yellow monkeys. And they were like, man, what are you talking about? Talking about monkeys, them bit people, and all of a sudden you got this weird disease. Monkeys been around for like 200,000 years before.
Man.
You know, the disease came around. They've been biting people ever since then. Like, why all of a sudden now? You know, the funny thing is, like, when you look back at all these things they put out, they've been patenting this stuff. You know, if anybody knows anything about patent, and like people don't look at, they do this stuff in other countries too, because they know they don't want to be right in your face. You know what I'm saying? They test stuff out. They're doing stuff to all these little countries that they don't talk about. Like, think about how many countries we even hear news on ever. You know, like we don't hear news about the rest of the world like that. We got enough news here in America. We don't be hearing about what's really going on. Why people hate Americans? You know what I'm saying? Why they see stuff that we don't see. Being American here, you know, that they keep us blinded away. Like, all these things have been patented for you. They had information on all this stuff way back. You know, way back. You know what I'm saying? You know, we don't even really know the truth of how long back, but we know from when you start researching and realizing stuff, you can see that it's been way before our time and our parents' time and our grandparents' time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going way back, and it's all been, we've just been lab rats the whole time. We've just been lab rats. That's all we've been, all of us. Lab rats.
They've been experimenting, and they haven't told us what they doing to us, man. They just been doing stuff from the food to the water to the medicine. Everything has been an experiment. They haven't put nothing healthy. Forget what label you reading on whatever you reading, because they ain't never telling you. Do you think they ever put a label on there to say, yes, we did put a parasite up in here too?
Right?
That ain't in the ingredients. The intelligent parasite is not listed anywhere in the ingredients at no point. So they never tell us everything that they putting in us. You know, they're not telling us they didn't develop cancer agents and things that they put in cancer chemical agents and things that they putting in different stuff that we consume. But it's in there. That's not gonna come on the ingredients list. We got to understand that, and that's the good thing about actually being woke. Now you can kind of at least have some type of idea of what's going on and how to navigate your life moving forward. I mean, but at the end of the day, everything that we consuming, man, majority of it is poison at this point. They putting stuff in us to make sure that we die at a certain age. We're not supposed to get them 70 years no more that we was promised. We ain't even supposed to get that no more.
Way more than that. And it's just like the life expectancy. I was looking at a report back home. There's a lot of women in the area. I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee, that weren't able to have children. Like, young, healthy women weren't able to have children, and it was linked to contaminated water, much like Flint, Michigan. But the levels were much higher. Nobody was talking about this. It was contaminating people's crops that were like farming and all of that. And I was outraged. I'm like, oh my goodness, because in the areas where this farm, like the soil was contaminated and the water was contaminated, I was having people to personally reach out telling me about how they weren't able to carry babies into the second trimester and stuff like that. When I started to try and enlighten people and even just educating and providing them basic education on, you know, getting a filter for your tap, your water tap and all that, they was like, girl, what are you talking about? They didn't even want to hear it. And it let me know how bad it had gotten, but the life expectancy had gone down like 8 years.
Like 8 years?
Yes.
And how long ago was that?
It was like a 5-6 year time span. And it had gone down 8 years, and it was on the service. It was like in three separate zip codes, and it was falling on deaf ears. The city, MLGNW had been sued several times. People had brought up lawsuits, but they had big money, so they really didn't stand a chance against this huge corporation. But people had even brought up lawsuits about having to move and like take their farms other places because their crops were being killed. But it was the same water that they're giving people to drink, and they were testing it. The lead levels were insane, and nobody was even talking about it. Nobody cared.
Yeah, see that's the thing with the powers that be being over all the different aspects of our lives, from the media, from social media, from the politics, you know, from the legal, the justice system. You see how the justice system moving. You see all of this. Like, if they're doing something to us, who is gonna tell us? Who is gonna tell us? We are behind enemy lines. I say it all the time. We are behind enemy lines. When the enemy has you circled, and when they got you from the media, they got you from the political arena, they got you from the legal system, they got you from the environment, the atmosphere, they got you from everything that you're consuming, from the economy. They got it set up for you to fail, set up for your demise. You are behind enemy lines until you get to a point where none of that stuff is affecting you every day, because it affects you every day. Because we got to watch what we eat, or we eating poison because they did it. You walk out in the air, they putting stuff on you that's messing up your health. They putting stuff in your water, you're drinking stuff messed up. They got stuff coming through the airwaves, the frequencies they sending out through the antennas that they put out. Then they got you on your devices. They monitoring your behavior. You're under surveillance.
Everything.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you behind enemy lines. Well, we not the enemy. So if you behind enemy lines, who is the enemy? The folks that are doing all this.
What's the perceived solution? What do you think? What do you think? Like, I know, like you said, we behind enemy lines. We got the odds stacked against us, per se, because of the systems. The systems in this country are really designed for failure. It's not designed for anybody to thrive. I agree with you so much, from the schools to the prisons to the quote unquote justice system to the food, all of that. So what's your perceived solution? Like, what way do you think somebody needs to be headed if they're trying to basically break away from this system?
Man, I hate to say it, man, and this is the whole reason. Like I say, from me and my channel, what it's been about being a part of the resistance. That's what, at the end of the day, that's what we are. Whether you want to accept it or not, you are outlawed. You know what I'm saying? Like, this conversation is a banned conversation. This is illegal. We having a legal conversation right now. You know what I mean? Like, you were an outlaw. Why? Because you're not conforming to the system of rules and guidelines and fake laws that they done put in place to keep you constricted or from doing anything or keeping yourself in a positive state of mind or living a fruitful life. And is that so bad? Like, is something wrong with me for wanting to live a regular life and not have somebody messing with me? You know what I mean? Like, the whole system is designed to destroy us. So my thing is, as part of the resistance by default, because whether I want it to be or not, it's either, hey, you go along with the system or you join the system of resistance, which is people that are actually going against this or fighting against this some kind of way. Us having this conversation, spreading this word, we're fighting against that. But that ain't necessarily the answer to all the problems. And what I feel that's going to have to happen in order to shake this whole thing up is it's going to take a real like civil war type of retaliation behind this. Like, folks have got to be ready to put it all on the line. You just willing to die slow because it's slow death. But if they showed up to your door with a gun and said, we taking you out right now like this, you going to take up arms and you going to fight back, right? So why is it so easy for people to just sit back and just say, oh, well, they poisoning my kid's cereal, I'm just going to go and give it to them. Oh, well, they going to go and dump these chemtrails right on my head. I'm going to take this, suck this on in, knock another 5 years off. Yeah, I'm going to take this medication. I know it's meant to kill me, but I'm at least keep this tooth pain down a little bit while I'm going to eat this apple and everything. But it's got to be a point where people say enough is enough. Enough is enough. I'm at a point where I'm like, we at war. Either way, however you want to look at it, this is war. Okay, whether you die fast or you die slow, you still fighting. You either gonna die you're gonna make a difference, you're gonna make an impact, or you just gonna go out and it's just gonna be a silent night for you. You know, I'm one person, but you best believe me, if we had a army of people that was like, hey, let's ride, I'm riding. That's just what it is. Like, we at war. Y'all killing us. Y'all killing. You already killed some of my family members. I don't know how many family members y'all have taken out. You know what I'm saying? Y'all done killed a lot of folks. And a lot of folks is going to be dead soon. Mark my words behind that. I wish it wasn't true, but a lot of folks are going to be dead soon. Then it's reality really going to set in. And for a lot of people that's not thinking about doing any type of retaliation behind this stuff, they going to find out the hard way, because it's going to be too late for them to retaliate. It's going to be people like you and me that's sitting back looking at the disaster and destruction that they didn't cause, and we're going to have to decide to make a decision then. Are we going to go along with this bull crap and walk right on into our graves, or we going to stand up and fight? Because you think it's going to stop once they take out the couple million or 100 million or billions of people that they plan to take out? It's not going to stop. They still going to come for the rest of us. They're going to come for the rest of the folks that know what's going on, that was not easily susceptible to the BS. And you're going to have to come a different way, because we know what you did to them. It's like we saw we saw them walk in that room and never come back out. We see blood on your hands. I'm not listening to you. I'm still here. So I know if I'm still here, I got to do something different. Either way, I'm going out. I already accept that. I'm going out. Either I'm going out with the poison y'all putting in me, I'm going to go out on my own terms. And when it comes to that, that's what I'd rather do. And it just sucks that we at a point now where it's going to be real evident in the coming years that they did this. And it's not going to be as many people to stand up and fight back. Because if we fought back when we had the numbers that we have now, it'll be a different story. But by the time people really figure out what they did to them, a lot of them people going to be on their way up out of here. Some of them going to be ready to ride. But a lot of them it's going to be too late. You see the people is paralyzed and all kind of stuff. People can't even hardly move and go to work. Some of the stuff that's happening to them. And this is just coming up on the second year. By next year, watch what I tell you. It's going to be very, very blatantly obvious that they done tricked a lot of folks. And folks is going to be acting out big time.
I agree with Miss Black Barbie with the Great Reset. I like with the resistance. I that's what it's gonna take. You talked about how the whole thing is tied into each other, from the music to the TV to the basically everything they're feeding you and programming you is designing you to think a certain way or to behave a certain way, which is basically numbing us to our powers and to who we are. We're not able to really tap into that really all the neurons that we have in our central nervous system. Mm-hmm. So I think that with this new age, and it's just my little personal reflections, we're coming into a feminine era. We're leaving a masculine era where it was dominance with war and fighting and bloodshed and power and rage, all those masculine energies. And I think that the feminine is coming in to balance that out with a different type of energy. And we're called to resist. We are, but I feel like personally, I'm being called to resist in a different way. Our foremothers and forefathers resisted in all types of revolts and fighting and, putting up real battles and bloodshed, like physically. I feel like with this feminine era, we're putting up more of a resistance of detaching from them systems, because they can't feed. We can't feed a system that we're not a part of. So when we take our kids out of their schools, when we stop taking their medicine and their vaccines, when we stop going to the grocery store and buying those foods and able to grow our own and co-op amongst each other's, I think that when we develop our own systems, it provides room for their systems to fall and crash, because they don't have our best intentions at heart. But as long as we're dependent upon them to raise our children, to school our children, to jail our children, to basically control us in every which way we allow them to. But I strongly feel no one can do anything to you that you don't allow. So you have to choose it. Just like we're choosing to have this forbidden conversation right now. You can choose to say, I'm going to continue and send my kid to that public school. And I ain't down nobody about public school. None. It's just an example. Or I'm going to choose to continue to eat that food that I know ain't good for me or make me feel bad or do adverse things to my body. I think it's a choice at the end of the day. And I feel like in the end of the day, it sums up to love or fear. Are you acting out of fear? Or are you acting out of love? Because I feel like with this new era, we're actually having to show a side of ourselves that we haven't been able to in a long time, because we are recovering from systematic traumas and ancestral traumas and all types of stuff. So I feel like the biggest challenge is allowing yourself to allow and be and put your guards down and live life as it's meant to, instead of being all up in arms and ready to go. I mean, it's time and place for that, but we're creating, just like we said in the beginning of this segment, as we're creating our thoughts are creating our reality. So we always talking about we finna battle, and they taking us. That's what we're going to create. We're going to see more of that, because the mind is logical. Whatever we see, it's going to program and create that in our life. So even I'll use an example. I had an issue with people being racist for a long time, because I grew up in an area that had a lot of racism or acts. So everywhere I went, I thought people looked at me and thought I was a little dumb black girl and I was racist, because there was a program. So everywhere, and every person that didn't look like me, I found racism, even when it wasn't true. Because in here, that's what it was. And I was constantly projecting that on every relationship. So I feel like even with these illnesses, these vaccines and all of this, somebody said somebody was 22 years old with shingles and this whole monkeypox or whatever it's called, because that's their reality and they're fearful. You're going to feed it. Whatever you're fearing or resisting, you're going to feed that, because that's focus and energy. That's how powerful you are. So that person was probably tuned into, oh, I'm going to get this, or I might have this, or they may have saw somebody else do it, and that became their reality. And guess what? You're that freaking powerful, where you can create your reality, and bam, you got it.
Preach. And that's what it is like manifesting. That fear comes upon you, manifest it on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, just your insecurity lifts the guard down to the point where a lot of that stuff is placebo. But since it's placebo, you still go check out on it. And that's when you get it. You're like, whoa, how did I just get it? Wow, that's crazy. It's the powers. Like I said, it's a war. It's gods versus gods. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you from back in the day, like when I was young, I used to talk to the pastor, like, I don't believe this. This doesn't make any sense. Like, why from the moment you're born, they're telling you you're going to die the first thing? You know, why, they're telling you that you look forward to this, I'm like, that's not normal. Like, why? Well, let me get to that point if that's really going to happen, because, and I go, why every single thing that we do, like you guys said, from when you wake up and you take your shower in that nasty water, you know what I'm saying? No matter how clean it is, it's nasty water. The chlorine stuff's in there. Everything's in there. While brushing your teeth with, fluoride, you know what I'm saying? Putting your deodorant on for people that use deodorant, and from hair products to everything. Like, you wouldn't have to do everything. Why all of our favorite things, from the computer to the TV to the microwave, to the oven, everything is sending off stuff that's killing us. Everything that we're around 24/7 is killing us, because they have to weaken us every day by the day, because we are gods. And if we really knew our true powers, that's what people need to do. They need to wake up and start digging out how to unlock your true powers. We all have them. It's a fact. We all got powers. We have used them throughout time and situations. We didn't even know we used them. Like I always use the example, you got a $1,000 due at the end of the week, and you ain't got no money right now. You don't even know how, but somehow, some way, you want the money, and you're thinking about that money, and you need to get it somehow for your family. You don't get a new job, you don't get nothing all the way up to that Thursday, and that's Friday morning. Bam, you got $1,000 in your pocket. You pay that bill, you still there. That's manifestation power, man, and full power. That stuff don't happen.
That dominant vibration is what you're gonna produce, whatever that dominant vibration is.
Yeah,
that's true, man. And that's funny, because the spiritual realm, I think you actually manifest a lot of things in the spiritual realm, and then it becomes a physical reality. And like you said, Z, you're talking about people are so in fear about certain things, all of a sudden they have it. I'm so scared. Like, I heard people so panicked about, I don't want to catch the COVID. I don't want to catch it. I don't want to catch it. I'll put a mask on. Oh, I'm going to catch it. Don't stop. Don't come close to me. All of a sudden they got it.
Yeah. I think that happens so much.
Yes.
They be in such a panic that they end up bringing it on themselves. And it might not even been the real thing. It might have been just a runny nose. But they wished it on themselves so much that they believed it and they manifested it.
Yeah.
But you know it, they got it. They got it 2 times over. They got the 3rd degree COVID. It ain't even the regular one. They done brought the worst one ever. Because they've been thinking about it so much and trying to fight it off. Like, I see the people, man, I swear it was like the people that was walking around in the mask, the people that was like putting on gloves and shit. Yeah. People that was scared to be around. It was like the 6 feet people, like, don't come close to me. Them folks was catching it more than other people. I just think I knew people personally that was doing all that, and then they were catching. I just couldn't do nothing but laugh. I'm like, dang, you did all that and it didn't work. Like, what do you mean? Like, how does it not work? Oh, you went and took the walk and now you sick. Oh, really? I didn't take it, but you got your protection, right? But you sick, right? But you doing everything. You got your mask, you got your walk, you got your little suit on, everything. You still sick though, in your own little world. So what did all that do for you? All the little planning and extra washing your hands every second, keep your hand sanitizer, you dumping, putting on your face and everything, and your butt still sick, right? But you been so scared, and you sitting there program watching the dang news the whole day, waiting on them to tell you what other procedures you need to take to make sure you stay safe. They're like, you need to get a booster. You need to get 3 of them. Okay, I need to do that. Let me go do that today. Then take you some tests. We send you some tests to your house so you can keep testing yourself, so you can keep finding out you got the crap, so you can keep being scared as hell. But it's so had true. People, man, they had them so confused, man, so scared. The fear mongering is a real thing. It's a real thing. And a lot of people, they manifested it in their mind first. And the mind is a powerful thing. We only access 10%. They say we only access 10% of our brains. Okay. But I believe a lot of that power is straight the pineal gland. You don't get that access. You don't. But they do. When people have fear and stuff in them, that kind of sends different secretions of something through the brain. Like it sends different things. Like animals, certain dogs and stuff can smell. They can sense fear. You know, like I tell you, when you walk in a room, if you got spiritual, your spiritual power somewhat, you're able to feel certain levels of tension. Like you can feel that. Like you can feel like when somebody in your family, somebody's in trouble or something, you connect to them, you can kind of feel that. Like, man, let me call and check on them, man. Something don't feel right. That's spiritual connection. That's like to telepathy or whatever, being able to communicate with each other, you know, without having to actually speak. You know, that's telepathic power. Communication. Right. Just like having intuition and stuff. It's all tied to your spiritual senses that you don't really have a lot of access to, but some people do have access to, and that's why they're able to avoid situations. You always be like, well, man, I was gonna go there, man. I don't know. I ain't gonna go over there today. I ain't going. I'm gonna chill at the house. You like, I'm gonna go. I think it might storm or something. You see it as it might happen, but others don't see that the same way. Like you like, man, I ain't hanging with what's the name? I just don't feel right about my spirit being around her. She just, next thing you know, she done ran out and got into it with some folks, and they done shot up her car, her house, and everything else. And you could have been with her. But your spiritual senses is telling you, man, she just saying something don't sit good with me, with her. It didn't necessarily just her person, but it was just your spiritual saying, hey, she got a bad aura around her. Some bad stuff gonna happen. And if I keep being around her, I'm gonna be involved with that. You might even think it's gonna be between you and her, but that's may not necessarily be about you and her. It just be about the company she keep. And the spirits that she got around her is gonna drag her into some mess that's gonna involve you if you don't step aside. But that's where you have that spiritual power that a lot of people don't know about, don't have access to because they've been cut off to it. Remember I told you about Rudolph Steiner and how he said they were working. He was part of the cult. We're talking about Illuminati and stuff, and they know about those powers. They know about that stuff. And their whole program he was running back in like the early 1900s was, we have to be able to cut off people's spiritual power. We got to cut that crap off. This was their whole program, was cutting it off. Why? Why did they want to cut it off so bad? What was the problem with us having that power? What things will we be able to do? What things will we know? That they wanted to make sure that we couldn't do it or couldn't know it. And how many people have they actually cut off from that? How many people have somewhat still have, like, so you know, sometimes when you wake up in the morning, it's like your eyes is half open and half closed. So what about your pineal gland? You see what I'm saying? Like, if it's not all the way closed, then some things you're gonna be able to be able to discern, and stuff you're gonna be able to see and be able to do, maybe not to the fullest degree or fullest extent, but you may have just enough to get you by, to help you avoid certain situations, like Max Spears said. People on the Georgia Guidestones and this and that, but people that are spiritually inclined, they will avoid these catastrophic disasters because spiritually they'll know. This is what he said. You can call him a conspiracy theorist or whatever, but this was long before this whole thing hit. He was like, those people will know because they'll know where to be and everything, you know, because there's going to be massive wipeouts. Like, you know, the Georgia Guidestones, he talked about this. And then he died mysteriously. But he put enough out there. It's like, what is he talking about? And how does that correlate to what we're dealing with today? And how does that correlate with us? And in the conversations we have, and why we can sit here and see these people look stupid and stuff they doing, and why we looking like, why y'all look so stupid? Why is this stuff not clicking with y'all? But for us, it's clear as day. It's clear as day because our eyes are open. Now, I'm not talking about necessarily these 3D eyes. I'm talking about the eyes in the spirit, where you actually able to discern stuff. And that's part of it. Nobody's gonna come back and tell you, like no doctor that has gotten a degree in anything that's in this indoctrined world that we live in. They're not gonna come back and tell you about the functionality of your spirit, your spiritual essence, and your pineal gland. They're not gonna tell you that. So if you accessing your power and you doing stuff and you got stuff and you figuring it out, somebody that actually know, they'll be looking at you like, damn, she straight got her damn pineal gland open, and she don't even know it. Damn. Well, we ain't gonna tell her that. Well, yeah, you probably need to take this medication because you're not sleeping right, and you probably need to take this, and you'll probably go back to being normal, right? That's what they'll tell you. But somebody that was actually on your team be like, you woke, you know exactly what's going on out here. Oh, you see that? Oh, good. Okay, that means that you spiritually inclined. You know what's going on. And that's all the other stuff that's going to come with it. Being able to make those spiritual discernments, being able to know where not to be. Like Max Spears said, knowing not to be in certain places to avoid certain wipeouts and things. But that's just talking about that specific incident. What about other incidents that you might come across in your life? How are you avoiding those things too? You see what I'm saying? Like, we got to look at this from a broader spectrum and not just narrow it down. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the stuff that happened before with the HIV and stuff with Magic Johnson, black entertainer back then, to push you to do what? Go take a test that was nobody was really having it. Magic Johnson's still here today. I would think he would have been dead, right?
Even healthier than ever. Way more.
But he don't even have it today, right? So what was your purpose? You got two of our most well-renowned black entertainers out here, Arsenio Hall and Magic Johnson, out here telling you to go take a test because you might have something. And they got a whole bunch of people to go take it, and a whole bunch of people is dead behind that.
And it's
those numbers are not going to be put out there. Believe that, right?
That's when they had the whole rubber campaign going. And even Jay-Z has said it in one of his songs, you know what I'm saying? You wear the rubber to get the AIDS, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how they were doing it. They were giving it to you in protection. There was no big rubber mask. Think about stuff like that, man. There were years of nobody having this, and all of a sudden you're going to tell me when some famous guy come out and say we got it, and now, oh, you guys go right on and get these condoms, these things we made for protection, and all of a sudden now more and more people are getting sick. Come on now. Things don't sit right. They've been doing this to us for a long time.
It's funny. I think it was Judy Mockowitz. One of these people was saying that they were actually putting it, using like birth control and condoms and things, and they were actually infecting people with other stuff through those things too, which is scary. Because think about it, that's a perfect way to get people, because you got people that's trying to do things the right way. So if you don't, let's say you don't use it, right? You trying to say, oh, people are getting it because they're having sex, right? But then you got people to do what? You got them scared. So what they do? They run and go get the stuff that y'all putting it on. See what I'm saying? You see how they backwards reverse engineer how they affect people?
They in so they might already set up to get sick.
Bingo. I don't want to have no kids. Let me go ahead and get these pills, take this, and that other. Guess what? Now you can't have kids. Gotcha. You see what I'm saying? Gotcha. Because you was trying to do stuff the right way, and they already had the plan in the bag. Think about who was behind the Planned Parenthood.
That's
the same guy that's behind the stuff now. Bill Gates' folks. His folks running that program. So you mean to tell me they care about your black ass? Come on, man. Like people got to start thinking logically. So all of a sudden we got the microchip maniac running around here in charge of condoms and shit. Man, it don't make no. Him and his folks been behind all the stuff that we supposed to be putting in our bodies. And now he want to control all the farmland and all the food that's being grown.
Yeah.
I mean, it's blatantly obvious who the enemies are. It's blatantly obvious who the enemies are for people that are somewhat conscious. But if you're not, like, this stuff going right over your head, and you're not even seeing nothing. It's people out here that don't see nothing wrong with nothing going on. Everything is fine. Hell, Bill Gates can own all the farmland. I don't care. Hell, give him all the farmland. He can have it. He's a damn good American citizen. He made the Microsoft, he made the Xbox and everything. Hell, give him everything. He can take over this world. I don't care. Just dumbfounded people. And there's a whole lot of them out there. But for us, people like us, and I don't know because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist. But it does seem like that we have somewhat of an elite level of consciousness or intelligence compared to our counterparts that seem to be completely dumbfounded and have no common sense. Like I don't pretend or try to project myself as being some kind of superior intelligent being, because I don't feel that that's what I am. But I feel that I do know a lot about a lot of stuff, and I feel like some people should know the same stuff too, just by common sense.
Yeah.
But when you look at these people and they don't have it, what does that mean? Does that mean that they super dumb, or does it mean that you actually very smart? Which is it? I mean, like, which is it? Are they very dumb? I mean, some of the stupid decisions that these people make is very dumb because you're not doing math and you're not doing basic science and just common sense. So does that make them really dumb, or does that make you smart because you do actually critically think about things and this stuff, and you connect dots? Like, is that like a high level of intelligence all of a sudden today? I'm seriously curious.
I think it's a choice. I think you see people who make a choice and they either choosing to remain stuck and stagnant in belief systems that either make them comfortable or that don't make them feel them. I mean, that don't make them face themselves. So I don't think I would say whether it's a ignorance or wisdom. I think that it's just levels of consciousness, and some of us can really just see the bullshit for what it is, and some of us with that pineal gland so calcified you can't see the murky waters. It's just surface level for you. So I think some of us just deep divers and you can't just tell me the sky blue and that's it. I want to know why. The sky is blue. Right. You got people who saying, "Oh, well, he said it's blue," and they said it's blue, but they can't never tell you who they are. They just automatically believe in what they're told. They just kind of, fall in suit. Don't really have a mind for themselves. I realized this working in the medical field when I would see gynecologists asking women what type of birth control they wanted to get on. I don't know. I just don't want to have a baby or a period. And they didn't care. And they were doing crazy things to their body, having crazy side effects. And they were still just allowing this person to make choices for them. And I'm thinking to myself, that's dumb as hell. You just gave me this and it made it worse. And I'm going to continue to take advice from you?
Right, made it worse. And you just hit a good point. And that's one thing that they doing now. And I think a lot of that ties into this whole Roe v. Wade thing. Like, now you got it to where you can't have an abortion. So people looking at it like, oh, yeah, they won with that. They're not going to kill the babies. But what are people going to go do now? They're going to run to who? Your boy Bill Gates? They're going to go get some of his medication? You see what I'm saying? So you going to the same guy that created the depopulation stuff, and he's gonna give you something that's gonna keep you from having a baby, or is he gonna give you something to keep you from having a baby and take you up out of here in the next couple of years? You see what I'm saying? So now you can get all these folks that you may not have gotten by taking a walk, you can get them by other means. And we already know that they already was doing that before, because we consciously we understand how this world works now. So all these folks have been influenced to go and now you can't have an abortion, so you got to do something proactive. You got to do something ahead of time to avoid. So what you gonna do? A lot of these women, hundreds of millions of women, are gonna run and they're gonna take whatever they can. And if you've re-engineered this stuff to have some mRNA or anything you want to have it, or a parasite, whatever, you're gonna do that. And you got them on the backside. Now you got the walk and you got the birth control, and then they're gonna have stuff for men too. And they also coming out with now talking about, oh, we got a cure for this, we got a cure for that. We think we've cured cancer. We think we've cured AIDS. They got all these cures, everything popping up right now. Isn't that convenient? Everything that y'all need, we got it now. Come get it. Come get everything you need. We gonna take care of you. We want to keep everybody alive and everybody happy.
He says, science will tell us those answers, and as much as scientists can tell us, and these examples from these nuts, they want their own answer, even when science has proven a lot of their insanities. Who are scientists, though? You know? And why, when the scientists come out with the real truth, with the cures and stuff, they get killed?
Yeah, because those are real science. Those are real scientists. The ones that have been appointed, the experts are basically globalists appointed puppets. They are just there to point us in a direction that's going to take us up out of here. I don't believe anybody that's labeled an expert. If you label an expert to me, then I'm pretty much listening on you. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say because I know what you about. Ain't no expert telling us the truth. Well, look at the experts say. Every time they say it, it's a lie behind it. You read it and you go, look, man, that does not correlate with the information I've been seeing and knowing. But I'm an expert and I said it, so you have to listen to me. Yeah. Okay.
Why are they making the other experts saying something different?
Right, but they put their experts on and they say that what they say are our expert study said, and they study like you can have 10 studies, but if they choosing who study gets put out there, exactly. But they're not. They fabricating their studies, but they say it, and then they can always go back and retract it later after everything bad happens behind the people that believe the study. They say, "Oh, well, we made a mistake. We forgot to add this different variable in that control group." So actually, and that's what they doing now with the whole walk. They come like y'all been seeing this stuff lately. Like, man, if you wasn't concerned before, man, it is people that are seriously concerned now because even the people that they so wholeheartedly believed to be experts and telling you the truth is coming out now like, we made a mistake. Like, wait. What do you mean you made a mistake? I gave this to my kid. I gave it to my husband, my mama, dad. Like, what do you mean you made a mistake? We're sorry. Yeah. We're sorry. We made a mistake.
Your whole life. Cow milk thing. We're like, hey guys, drink milk. We gave you all this cow's milk, but now you wonder why there are people that actually look like cows walking around. Because then now they got genetics from animals inside their DNA and structures that making humans size that you've never even seen them before. It's like, it's crazy, man. Like, they've been, like I said, we're just lab rats, you know, like, and I think the real truth is just learning your own power. What year in school, whether you went to college, you know, post-grad, whatever, did they ever teach you about your inner powers, your inner self? Never.
No. That's what we should be learning.
You never went to school not one day in your life. But you went to school and learned about all these other BS that's out there.
Don't teach you about emotions either. Like, they have these kids that have God knows what going on, and then they send them to a space where they are forced to literally sit still and be taught or programmed, and they diagnose them with all different kind of disorders or even further destroy their self-esteem.
Right, like I just told you though, when they notice somebody that's got spiritual, you know, some of their spiritual powers, they pineal gland open, they gonna hit you with something. They gonna give you something that's gonna jack you up. Like, that's their whole intent, is to make sure that you don't have the powers that you're supposed to have. The people that are in power, man, the experts and the doctors and stuff that's set to diagnose people with this stuff, they've been given a list of stuff to look for to do. It's not. It may sound different to you. Oh, this person came in schizophrenic, this, that, and other. But what did they really come to end with? Were they able to see different things in the spiritual realm? And y'all just want to put a label on it so that y'all can do away with it, nobody pay attention? You know, just like now, everything that happens to people, they label it something else. Oh, you got that because you had a dog. You got hepatitis C because you had a dog or you ate some strawberries. That's what happened. They label and lie about everything that they give you, everything that happens to you. So when you see stuff in the spiritual realm, they label it something else on the physical and give you the idea that you tripping. So you got a problem. We're going to medicate that. Yep. Then they medicate you and they jack you up. They mess up they totally calcify. They make sure they calcify. Anybody come in, they like, oh shoot, we got one that just slipped through the system. They managed to make it this far without having their pineal gland calcified. Oh, here, give them some of that. Give them some of that. Put that in them. Okay, that knocked that off. Give him about 2 weeks. He'll be regular.
Gregory said that. He said a lot of the star seeds that were born into the 80s were killed. either by drugs, they destroyed them with drugs with the crack epidemic, or they basically a lot of the immunizations with like the autism and things being developed. They implemented things like you said, parasites into their DNA. They kind of messed up their communication.
Metal, silver, mercury, all that. Yeah, I did a whole piece on that about them the immunizations and stuff. Like, think about it. We want to believe that the immunizations they gave supposed to keep us from polio and stuff, but they was giving us polio. Then they would say you got to take this so that you won't get it, but you never would have got it to begin with. But it was them giving it to people to get the fear going, so you'll run your ass down there and take something that's gonna fuck you up another way. That's what they've been doing. You see, it's just that we just now getting hip. We getting hip to like, oh, I see the game y'all running. Y'all split it. Y'all been running this game for a long time. So how many parasites have y'all injected me with since I was little? That's what I want to know. What have they been doing to me? Did that cause my sister to have schizophrenia? You know what I'm saying? Did that cause my cousin to have an MS? Well, what did y'all do to break down these people's systems? We see people dying all the time from heart attacks and strokes and cancers and everything else. But the question has never been asked is, what happened to them 10, 15 years ago? What did they take? You see what I'm saying? What did y'all do to them? People coming down with skin cancer. What tanning lotion was they putting on 5 years ago? You see, what regular lotion was they rubbing in their skin? Because you know they talk about even deodorant. They found links to deodorant having an effect on the heart.
The aluminum in the brain too, because aluminum. A lot of black women, older black women, were having Alzheimer's, and like memory issues. But guess what? Black people cook in aluminum foil all the time. So it's that same aluminum that they're circulating in the injections. They're circulating in the putting it in our food. It's crazy.
And the thing is, they know the effects of each and every one of these things that they doing. That's where the science go. That's why when I go to these stores and stuff, and these any place I go, and they be like, do you want to donate 20 cents, or you want to round your money up to pay for this so that you can donate to this children's organization? Or like, no, I'm not donating to any more of your research into how you want to kill me, or different ways of how to figure out how to kill people, because that's where the money really going. Think about it. They've been studying how to treat cancer and stuff for 100 years. You see what I'm saying? All they got is chemo.
For over 100 years.
Right. Over 100 years. Right. But they can figure out how to treat COVID in less than a couple of months with something that's supposed to be safe and effective, and it was works perfectly fine. And you've been had 100 years, and you've probably had over $2 trillion to invest in cancer, and you can't figure it out. But Dr. Sebi could be over there in a freaking hut with $10 worth of bones and leaves.
Right?
And he done cured 77 people with one little batch. What you mean you need 20 more cents from me?
That's so true. But people realize that's what it is. All broken down natural plants and herbs and stuff like that, man. And we got everything on this earth to cure us. We just don't realize that we don't grow, or we don't have access to grow the things. You know what I'm saying? They don't. A lot of things are outlawed. You can't grow. But
it's crazy to me, man, because the whole system is designed and is deceptive. Everything is deceptive. I remember even when Pizzagate came out, and it was starting to come apparent that all these different places that's supposed to help kids and be all that, they were all part of the trafficking that was going on with the kids. It was like, you paying, like, that's when I was like, hold on, man, I didn't put money toward this stuff before, and y'all took it and y'all used it to take and do bad things to these kids. So why would I ever at any point start giving money back to the systems? Because all these little systems that's supposed to help these Boy Scouts and stuff, that's why you hear about stuff happening to these kids in these different organizations. Then you think, we gonna get them into foster care. Some of them kids never come back from foster care, and them folks wipe them records clean, and you never know about them. They just gone, and nobody ask about them, nobody know about them. They see how this traffickers and pedophiles, they all into those systems, like they're involved with it. They involved with the processes. They slide names over here, like, we're gonna send that batch over to them, let them deal with that. Oh yeah, you gonna go see what's the name in them next week. They might adopt you. You going over there, and they take off with you. You see what I'm saying? Like the systems are in place for our demise and to do foul things like that. And just like the medicines, everything is designed, it's inverted from what it's supposed to be. Supposed to be there to help us and aid us in some way, but it's actually there to do negative things in our lives and in the lives of people around us. So we gotta start looking at it like that. And I think that's part of a big part of being awake and knowing how this world actually functions. You thinking it's functioning this way, but it's actually functioning this way the whole time. And we've been living how many years of our life thinking like that? You go back to a lot of stuff you probably don't think about today, but stuff that happened in your life, and you look back like you looked at it totally different then because you were looking at it from a 3D perspective in the worldly view. But now you look back, like we just talking about Arsenio Hall and Magic Johnson. Like, oh, we love Magic Johnson. He shoot hoops like, yeah, Magic Johnson. But he was a pawn and deceived a lot of black people, right? They used him. And you don't think Magic Johnson knew? He very well knew what was going on. A lot of them athletes and stuff that they chose to take those routes, that they put in those positions, they paid them. Look, you're going to do what we say, but we're going to pay you this much. You're going to have a good life. But you're going to do what the hell we say. And some of them sold out. They sold out. Just like these artists today, the Beyoncés and Jay-Z's and everybody like that, they've been selling out. They've been influencing us and directing us to our demise. They've been putting out low frequency music, making sure that you vibrate low so they can help with this spiritual decline of black people and people in the whole. Like that's what they're there to do. They're not there to be good to us. They don't give two shits about us. Jay-Z don't give two craps about us. You see what I'm saying? He worried about his money and whatever. I don't know what he might. I don't even know if he's a regular person, to be honest with you, but it is what it is. It's a black person that we idolized.
And we put in our energy towards, that love that needs to be going into self. We find it in other people, and that's when we define our definition of what we should look like, what we should be doing. I was telling my oldest son, he's about to be 21 now, and he listens to this rap music all the time. And I had to sit down and talk to him. I'm like, do you actually think these people on the other end of that mic are living these lives they talking about? I said people, real folks from the streets wouldn't go around talking about these things and glorifying it. That shit is traumatic. So you wouldn't be going around singing it like it's an anthem. I said it's a program, and the more you listen to that, the more that becomes your frequency, and you're gonna emit that frequency. Murder,
exactly.
Death, pills, all that crazy shit. So
people start doing that. That's why they start doing that too, though. Like you said, they start manifesting that, they speaking it, curses, spells. We talk about that. Keep on repeating it. Let's say if you want to be rich, keep on saying, I'm getting money, I'm about to get money. Hey, and next boom, you get money. Keep on saying, like they said, Pac used to speak death on himself all the time. Like, I know I'm a dog, him and Notorious Big. And next death came for him. You know what I'm saying? It's like you manifesting that stuff, you repeating it, and it's like the music has a way of hypnotizing you psychologically and spiritually. And that's why they do it. And that's why they said they put spirits in the music. Like they would conjure up evil spirits. Like artists and not just artists, but executives and stuff have came out and said this. Like, yes, we have rooms that we go to and we conjure up demon spirits to go into the music and get into the music. And when it get to your house, it come out in your house. And next thing you know, you cursing out your child, you don't know why. Or you up there fighting with your spouse, you don't know why. You know what I'm saying? You got all this bad stuff happening in your house. You broke all of a sudden, you don't know why. But the person you was listening to all the time talking about, yeah, I'm broke, but I'm about to go smoke an L and this and that. You know, you doing that. Now you up there smoking an L and you doing the same stuff they talking about. Yeah. Their spirits that travel far. They didn't travel right from that music, from that executive's office, right to the music, right up into your stereo in your house, right into your car, wherever you at. And now you can't understand why you got problems. But you cursing yourself. Spirit, spells, curses. It's all right there. We just learning about it.
So innocent. I know why these people. That's conspiracy theory. Y'all paranoid, but that's the deodorant. Who would think someone would put something in their deodorant that's harmful? Who would think somebody would put something on? Even these kids' TV shows. We talked about that in one of the previous shows.
Oh yeah.
Individuals.
Well, yeah, you know the TV shows.
He would get all like angry after watching one particular show, and when I stopped him from watching it, I noticed that behavior stopped. So we don't know what the subconscious programming is behind this stuff.
Exactly. It's the negative programming though too. It sends off negative energy and it puts you, like we talking about, even with like getting messages on social media, watching people's feeds and stuff, and you see them going through something bad, then all of a sudden you in a bad mood and you reflecting that same negative energy that they came with. So when somebody's got negative stuff going on TV, you consume that. It's going in your soul. It's going in your spirit. So what you finna put out when you get out into the world? You ain't finna just come off and hear people yelling, cursing each other out, talking all crazy and trying to fight, and you finna walk right out of that and see your child say, "Hey, baby, I love you, man. How you doing?" Or you run to somebody out in the street, say, "Hey, how you doing?" They bump into you a little bit. You might have, "Hold on, what's up with that? What's up with that?" You know what I'm saying? You just, "Hey, that's my parking spot. What you trying to do?" You just seen somebody going at it with somebody over a seat at the bar. Now you feeling kind of raunchy too. You ready to get some action. You got that negative energy in you. It's all built up. You ready to explode. You just seen some good action. You seen her throwing them hands. Now you like, I'm about to throw them too. It's my turn. This the wrong day. I just got through watching Mike Tyson. Several episodes of Mike Tyson. I'm ready to knock somebody the hell off. This the wrong day to run into me. But that's why too, though, they say you like, I don't know if you ever done it, and I do this, and I'm notorious for it myself. But you will be riding in your car and you put on certain music, come on, boom, you start driving different. You start feeling the groove. You think, you know, you you're like, hey, yeah, you bumping and grinding, you moving, right? Like that DMX song, come on. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here. That song, come on, you be like, whoa, it's something just take over. Like you don't have no more control over yourself, your body, everything just go out. You just have no control. DMX that took over and is driving the car now. You ain't driving, that's DMX driving that car. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here, and you get to swerving that mug about to knock some off the road. You don't care what they got to do. That's a real thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
influential ones are the ones that are words in the music together, because it's in the music too. The way they put those, instruments and beats together, you know what I'm saying? They do it on purpose to help set off certain alerts in your body and whatnot. People don't even realize it. It's in a lot of it. Don't you like some songs? Like I really love that song, but you don't even know not one word in the song because you don't really love what they're saying in that song. It's just that the music itself vibrates to your frequency to the point where you like it, and then vice versa, where you don't even like the beat, but the song was so sick because you love what they're saying in the word.
Yeah, exactly. But one thing you will hear a lot, that this world, this universe, it all evolves around energy and frequency. Frequency and energy. That's what everything is. And the more you start to know and understand and learn about that, the more a lot of stuff in this world starts to make sense. Energy and frequency, whether it's negative energy, positive energy, or frequency. Like negative energy around negative people, you got a negative vibe about yourself. Negative energy. Like me, myself, it's hard for me to be around negative people. Like I have a hard time being around negative people now that got negative energy, or if they talking negative, or if they got negative stuff going on, like I just can't be in that environment. Like it eat at me. Like I just gotta get it off of me. So I just I gotta get out of here. So somebody start having some negative stuff, like, hey, I'm gone, man. Hey, I'll holler at y'all later. Somebody be yelling at somebody else across the way, hey man, I'm about to get up out of here, man. I'll check y'all later. I'm that guy. But if I come into a place and the mood is good and everybody positive stuff, like I can feel that. You know what I'm saying? Like you can feel that energy and you can soak that up. I talk about love is positive energy, right? And we start to experience that when you get around the right people, you feel the love. You feel the love in the room, but you can also feel the hate in the room. That's why people say, man, they hate on me. Like they hate, like you can walk in the room and people's eyes be on you and stuff. You can feel that tension. But you can also feel love when there's love there. That's what kind of inclines two people to kind of, start to connect with each other and have that type of connection and build from there. Because they talk about soulmate, but y'all spirits is just hitting at the same frequency. Y'all both vibrating high, positive energy flowing between y'all, and you want to experience that. So you start to develop that relationship. But if it's negative and it's toxic and stuff, y'all bash and bang, that ain't love and stuff. That's y'all need to get the hell away from each other. That's negative energy. And it might be because of the spirits, so one of y'all vibrate low or both of y'all vibrate low. Now, if y'all both clean up y'all spirits and stuff, maybe it'll be a different situation. You know, but when y'all both vibrate low, y'all both putting in negative stuff. Like you watching freaking Housewives of Atlanta and Housewives of Indonesia, Housewives of Japan, Housewives of Canada, and he jump in the car, he listen to 3-6 Mafia and all these other artists that's out here now that's just negative. Like, and then y'all come back together. Now y'all got all this negative energy flowing between y'all at the same time. What do you think gonna happen? You know what I mean? So I think it's a thing where we start to understand energy and frequency, and you can kind of start to formulate some kind of idea of what life is really about and how to progress your life in the right direction. When you start understanding how that works and how to avoid certain situations or avoid certain negative energies and things like that. And that's why they put negative stuff on TV. That's why they make sure you get a lot of that negativity, more of that than anything. You know what I mean?
Definitely got to balance out that power, you know, because like you said, man, you learn so much. You got energy, and it's all, whether you projecting negative or positive energy, you're always projecting, you know, and that's what you got to control. Like, it's like one beam up in the air. There's, you know, tons and trillions of electrical, you know, currency up in the air, and it's like you're just like a lightning rod. It's like if you're sending out negativity, more negativity is going to keep hitting you. More negativity. I always say, like, when you're in a bad mood, you're having a bad day, it's going to keep being bad until you decide that, you know, you don't want to deal with that anymore. You don't want to produce some positive energy back out. Like, when you're over it. The next thing you know, things start changing. You start realizing that. But until you reach that decision, you make the choice to be over it and accept what it is for what it is, then you're going to continue to be sending out that negative energy and continue to attract other negative things into your life. You know, and that's always like, you want to get over something.
That negative energy can consume you. It will consume you if you allow it to. And that's why I say, like, I can't be around negative people too long. I got to get out of that. Like, it's like some goo or something be on you. You know,
like
I just gotta get out of
me, like the world, like, yeah, I'm a bitch. You just gotta deal with it. You know, that's just me. That's just my personality. How people accept being negative. You know what I'm saying? Like, as their main state of being, it's like something that I always used to hate. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you be happy being that way? You know, or a guy being like, I'm just this. You know, I kill niggas. I do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you happy being in that state of mind? But, you know, I guess there's just balance in the world to the point where there's just some people that is their happiness. And that's what they want to do. And it's just like, it's crazy.
Well, I don't think it's so much just that, because we have to remember there's different variables that are at play between the parasites and the nanos and things that they have control over. You see the frequencies that they send out, the negative energy that they put out in the atmosphere. This stuff causes people to react in the ways that they react. Some people don't have control over their own self, their own body, and their own thoughts, and they got other things that are controlled too. You got too much alcohol and stuff in your system. Those things can kind of influence your behavior outside of the outside forces that they using against us. On top of that, you know, through the food, the medications, and the water and the chemtrails and stuff. So it's a lot of different variables at play that's directly involved with our attitudes, our behaviors, our demeanors, our approach, our outlook, our perspectives. All of that stuff is affected to where it's going to come up a certain kind of way. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know me as how I am today, the type of person I am today. But you could pop on here a couple days from now and I could just have a bad attitude. You know, and you like, man, that don't remind me of Ned. He don't normally act like that. But who knows what I didn't experience and what kind of negative energy I've consumed over the last couple hours. You know what I'm saying? Or what kind of negative stuff has happened to me or people around me. What kind of spirits and stuff is floating around and affected me. Talk about possessions. We talk about parasites also that are intelligence that have control over people's behaviors and things like that. We don't know how many people are directly affected by this. They can do whole populations and such as well. So I think that's probably the gist of you know, the kind of video that I put out just recently. It was just like behaviors and things and the different things that they've utilized to impact us that we haven't really paid attention to. The hidden truths behind that is what people are starting to see, and people like you and me are already hip to it, but a lot of more people are starting to wake up to this stuff, and it's like, this is the only piece you're getting because you haven't been You haven't been able to get the information from years before, because all that stuff is being pushed away, and this is all you left with is people like us talking and the stuff that you seeing out here on the news. That's it.
That's crazy. And even like, I know we need to wrap it up here soon, but even like that part of the video when it was talking about, like the Disney,
Oh
cloning,
yeah.
cloning people to make your favorite characters to influence you
Favorite
even more.
characters.
Like that is
Right.
crazy that they have interviews like that and people are talking about it like it's just nothing wrong with it. Like it's something that's common. We've been cloning for years and years and years, and now they've made it to the point where they're influencing. So a lot of these people we're sending all of our energy to, because that's what influencers are. And that's why they get you they let you get started, get big, what I'm saying? Then they're gonna come and get you after you already got a following, you got enough influence, you influence enough people, and then that's when they come at you like, hey, we need you to do this, or you don't do this, we're gonna do it our way, regardless of how you want to do it. And it's just crazy to know that now it's like you're producing your own influencers, that aren't even doesn't even have souls, aren't even us, what I'm saying? And people are just
And that's why they don't care how they use them. They don't care. Like they don't have a conscience about it, because that's what they've been created for. And then they probably they lack consciousness, period. So they don't have like a spiritual discernment and stuff. Like they're not concerned about that stuff. They just gonna do what they've been programmed to do. They're pretty much programs in the Matrix. You know what I mean? Like just like the agents that were been placed here to carry out certain duties. Remember, like in the Matrix, they had the key maker and stuff like that, and he was there just to deal with keys and stuff. The same thing. These people have been done. Like I said, Miley Cyrus, she got all them kids going with her with Hannah Montana. Boom! Now she turned into Miley Cyrus, and she just all crazy acting and doing all this just provocative stuff and just nasty, raunchy acting all over the TV. And dragged a whole bunch of little girls right down the wrong path.
Yep. Yeah. You have a following when you're young where they just love you, when you just love you, you're just one way. And then all of a sudden, as soon as you switch over, it's like, of course, all of them are coming with you. They're taking that journey. They're taking the same route as you. Like,
a lot of them are. A lot of them are, and they not seeing nothing wrong with it. They like, well, my favorite person in the whole world I've been following since I was born just decided she wanted to be a homosexual. Well, I'm gonna be it too. Yeah. It ain't nothing wrong with it. The world loves her. They're gonna love me too. And that's part of their plan. So it works both ways for them. They can use their people to do what they want to do, carry out agendas, and they can also carry out their own agenda that they have with the population and stuff, because now you got less people having kids and stuff, because you got more people that's going the other direction. So it's really like two birds with one stone. You got them vibrating low, and you also got them having less kids. So it's perfect formula of disaster, is what I see.
And now you got a question here too. Says, question for Net: do you think one can worship God and believe in frequency and energy at the same time?
Yeah, I certainly do. And I believe that, like I tell people, man, the video I'm putting out next, it kind of deals with that. The whole thing with God, I don't think, like, people make it so much about Jesus, God, and you have to be a certain kind of way because of the book that was given to you to make you believe that that's how it's supposed to be. Okay. And they try to, they get away from some of the stuff from the spiritual aspect of it, of stuff like that, from the frequency and energy. They don't talk about that in the Bible, but we understanding that now. So where was we supposed to get this information? Yes, but what they say in the Bible is you're supposed to have love and be righteous and stuff. Like, if you do that, guess what? You're producing positive energy. But they're not displaying it like that. The stuff that we get is given to us in terms based off of stuff that was put together thousands of years ago, centuries ago. That we've evolved since then. Okay, and there's certain information and stuff that's been removed. It's like 37 some books or something that's been removed from the Bible, and they gave you a certain version that they wanted you to have. Somebody decided we're gonna take out the book of Enoch, and it's another book of Judas or something like that was removed out of the book. They decided this, and everybody's like, well, it's the holy book, and it was inspired by God. Okay, it was inspired by God, and it was manipulated by who? A man. So if that can happen, then that means that your whole thought. So if that man decided to put a certain book in there and took that book out, that's what your religion would revolve around in. If he decided to take the book of Chronicles, take the book of Matthew or John out and everything else, took Revelations and say, I'm going to take this chapter out of Revelations or this segment out and put this in. Now your mind is all fixated around that. And you believe everything around what they put in front of you. So let's just say if I was God and I made a book, I could go through that book and say, I want my people to believe this, that, and the other. I don't want them to know about this. I don't want them to know about the spiritual so much. So I'm going to take this whole chapter out and I'm going to put this in there. Now they're going to believe that they need to do this, that, and the other in order to go to heaven. And I ain't going to tell them that heaven is really the fifth dimension. And that's really where you belong on the spiritual realm, because I've took that chapter out. So you don't understand that stuff. And then people get so caught up in just the religious aspect and not from the spiritual aspect. And that's what we are first and foremost. And then people forget that part. So yeah, I believe that you can worship God, because I believe God's a real thing. God really loves his people that he created. He made us in an image of him, in the likeness of him. Okay, that's why we have spiritual powers. But guess what? Somebody don't want us to access it. God would want us to access it, I believe, right? So that we can do the right things. But if you can't have the real information, you can't know what all you need to do. And the people that run this world, they're making sure you don't have the access to all the information that you need, so that they can keep you what? Trapped right here. And all the people that was following the Bible to a T, they just ran down there and took that walk. Majority of them went down there and took it with no spiritual discernment or connection to know not to do that. Even if you didn't have a spiritual connection or discernment to say something wrong with that, what happened to the faith that you're supposed to have in the Most High? You're supposed to be holy. You catching the Holy Spirit, you dancing around in the church doing all kind of dance moves, but you ain't know that you didn't have faith to know that God would protect you from anything that could harm you. You couldn't tell when a Satan or a demon was deceiving you. But you following that book and you know it back and forth to you know what I'm saying, from cover to cover, but you couldn't make this discernment. So miss me with that. You know, that's how I feel about most people that follow it like that, man. Like for real. Like you can't nobody push that part on me as far as the Christianity religious aspect. If you didn't have the wherewithal to know based off of spiritual discernment, and also the fact that God is going to protect you and he's going to have you, he built your immune system. You don't trust the immune system he gave you. And even if you did catch it, he going to protect you and keep you around. You see what I'm saying? But people think, oh, when it's my time to go, God going to take me out here, this, that, and other. If that's the case, then why would you worry about taking a walk anyway?
Right.
You see what I mean? Like either way you look at it, it doesn't make sense for people to do that. And the only way that people do that is because people are so restricted into their religious path. And they don't understand the spiritual aspect of it. And if you understood the spiritual aspect of it, then you wouldn't even be talking about taking no walk and doing none of that. You wouldn't be worried about it. But that's how they messed up so many of our minds and got us so trapped into this religious aspect and doing what they say. Do as we say.
And keep us divided.
You say what?
I say, and also keep us divided. You know what I'm saying?
Keep us divided at the same time.
You know? Each different religion, they like, you gotta believe in this one. If you don't believe in this one, you're not right. If you don't believe in this one, you're not right. You know, like, come on now.
Yeah.
Like I always tell everybody, God ain't never opened up the skies and said nothing to nobody. And if he did, why were they so special back then? And we're not special enough for him to do it for us now. So at the end of the day, you're just hearing stories from other people of their interpretations, their experiences they go through in life, which we all see the same miracles on a day-to-day basis when we see things happen, you know, or we make things happen ourselves. So it's not really no real difference, you know. We are the gods, you know. We could create, we manifest, we project, we do all this stuff just like him. We are in his life. There is a God above us, and probably God above him, and God above him. Right. That's not the point. The point is you do want to give him love and respect for giving you another day. Like I always say, like he woke me up in the morning, you know, he did his part. That's all he has to do is wake you up. You know, there's plenty of people that don't even wake up. You know, from that point on, you're starting to put too much on some fictional person, when in reality, you're supposed to be controlling your own life and creating your own destiny and your future to be promised, and you know, he gives you all the tools and all the alerts in your body and all the brain smarts, you know, to go alert, you know, to find different ways of, you know, figure out what you need to figure out if you want to figure it out, but you got to make that choice too first.
Yeah. Well, like I was saying though, they removed certain books of the Bible for a reason. And God didn't personally show up down here and start removing books of the Bible. And God didn't sit there and handwrite the Bible. And another thing, like I said in the video I'm working on now, like think about this. People believe in heaven and hell. So did God create heaven and hell after he created man? And then the first man died, and then what did he do? He went to heaven or hell. Did he create it afterwards? Okay. You have to think about that, and I point this out as well. God is not a person. People get caught up in thinking God is constricted to the same rules of the world and the universe that we are. God is not a person. So God was here before this world ever evolved. So wherever God is, there's another level because he's on there. Yes, you know what I mean? So if that's heaven or whether that's the fifth dimension, it already existed before this whole earth was created. And then he made us spiritual beings so that we can get to that place where he is. But we cannot get there with the stuff that they put us in here that's supposed to entrap us to stand here by the low vibration, negative energy, and frequency. That's what it all boils down to, because they did studies on this before, like the word, just putting the word love like in a glass of water or something, it made like a difference. It did something to the water. It's crazy. It has that type of effect. Like people, they talk about how people have come back from near death. They show you in the movies when people kiss somebody and they feel the love. It's the positive energy. Where they have people, they come in and people praying and stuff like that, people holding their hand and stuff. People feel that love and it's able to give them life. Positive energies flow through their body and give them life, and they live longer than they is projected to live. You know, and it's like when people supposed to die, they say, man, just make them comfortable. Just make them comfortable. They're going to die. You know what I'm saying? But then people come around, they show them love, and they take them in, they do all this kind of stuff for them, and it rebuilds them, rejuvenates them. And then you hear about people that live 5, 6, 7 years longer than they was supposed to live because they had love. You know, they felt that. They got to get back home. Hey, take them back home with his folks. Get them back to his folks so he can get some love in them. Like, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
So
that's where it comes into this like power. Like they created these, you know, numbers and, you know, the alphabet on purpose certain ways for a reason. It's like, you know, that's why there's not one same anywhere. You know, every single country got their own version of it. So those people learn how to control their people that kind of way. You know, it's all to keep us divided. Like there's not, for me, it's just like, man, you could really just say that nothing's real at the end of the day. Like, you know, like the way that they done put it out there to us, it's like you had a point where like, come on now, you know, where do I get the, you know, the realness, and where can I learn like the truth from? Because you're just like looking at all these different things that they taught you over the years and programmed you to believe, and you just like, yes, you know, horrible program.
It's been programmed, mental slavery. That's all it's been about. This world is about. That's why I say the things that's been here before. You think these reptilians and things been walking around all this time and they ain't touched the good book. They ain't want to mess with that. They ain't want to tinker with it. But they want to make sure you get the news today, and they all over the news telling you lies. You see what I'm saying? Like people got to wake up from the stupidity they've been living in for their whole entire life. Like they didn't just start controlling the news today. They've been controlling the news and information and controlling how people live. This didn't just start today.
Yes. It's been, you know, even in like when you see, like I said, that, you know, they're obligated to tell you at least once the truth. You'll see a way crazy video like, that's crazy, is that real? You know, like even when they showed the Pope, you know, walking behind with the reptilian behind him, and like everybody seen that clear as day, and no one tripped out about it. But then it's like, whoa, what? You know what I'm saying? Like people still don't believe there's aliens. People still think we're the only planet with living organisms out there. It's like, come on, really?
Right.
You know, like really?
Because you wanna believe that God only created you, and God just focused on one planet, right? Like, but God is creator of all things, and He got the power to do so. You saying basically space and everything would be impossible. But if it is possible, who would make it possible? God would make it possible. And we cannot put a cap or put some kind of ceiling on what God can and what he will and what he has done. And people kill me when they try to do that. But you look at, like you say, God made creatures for the dirt. He made creatures for the water. He made creatures for the land. He made creatures for the air. But he left that other stuff alone.
Right.
We just wanted to do this. He wanted to mess with nothing else. That's all God was capable of doing. But like I said, God is not a human being. We cannot confine him to the rules and the regulations and restrictions of a human. Okay? And there was a heaven before there was an earth, because God had to be there to be looking down upon this and say, let there be light here. I'm going to start working on this, but I'm already over here in this area. You see what I mean? And in order for people to get there or go to those other levels and other dimensions, you have to be vibrating high. You have to be spiritually inclined. You ain't
we're our
gonna
own gods too. Like I said, we are Earth for a lot of things. There's millions and millions of organisms that are alive in and out on top of our body and our skin and stuff like that. People don't realize it's the same thing. You know, we're the same as the Earth. You know, when the Earth wiped natural disasters, I think some of them are real because, of course, it's a living organism. You keep killing it for so long, it's gonna try to wipe you out. Period.
Exactly.
You know, just like you get sick, you need to get medicine to clear the viruses in your stomach that going, you know, that are killing you. You know, we have the same. We're the same. You know, we are Earth for some people. You see the effects of how negative things can affect our bodies and whatnot. And when we put positive things into it, it becomes more better, more pure, more. You know, like it's just it's the
Put
same.
positive stuff in your body, it does something. Put positive things in the earth, it does something. Put positive words in the atmosphere instead of spells and curses.
Yeah.
It goes back full circle to what we was talking about to start this whole little video. So
Hey man, this has been a great show, man. Thanks again for coming by. You know, they got
always BG.
They got got a Z again like they did last time.
Yeah, she disappeared, man. They keep on saying,
but that's okay. You know, she definitely loved the conversation and she's doing good up in here. So thank all you guys. Hit that like, subscribe to everyone on here. BGN Entertainment, you know, Net Most Wanted, BG31, Goddess Z, and Miss Mary Cruz. You know, we're gonna keep bringing it to you as much as we can. You know, just keep you guys up to date with what's really going on out here. You know, it's time for everybody to wake up and stand up. You know what I'm saying? Wake up and stand up because it's time for us to stand up for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Ourselves. You know, people always tell me, like, I don't ever really get sick that much, you know, because I don't believe in sicknesses. I don't believe anything is here to harm me. You know what I'm saying? I live in a, you know, more of a frequency level where I just think I'm untouchable. I am a God. I know I'm a God, you know, to the point where nothing earthly is going to be able to destroy this, you know, this structure. And I just think people need to believe in themselves a lot more and start finding out more truth about themselves. You know, learn more about yourself, your heritage, you know, where you come from, the people you come from, you know, to see if there is some links and if there is any kind of correlation to why you do the things you do.
Yeah. So we had a good fruitful conversation today. Fruitful dialogue. Wish you and Z the best, man. Happy birthday once again, BG.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure, man, being on the show today. And we're gonna do this again real soon.
All right, my guy. We out. Peace.
All right, bro. Later.
What is up? What is up? Welcome to another episode of The Real. I am your host, BG, with the lovely ladies, Miss Marty Cruz and Goddess Z in the building.